Something's inside your tent.
Like an animal?
Like a person. I think it was a woman, man.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 horror film, The Curse of La Patasola. A film that is co-written and directed by A.J. Jones, and it stars Patrick R. Walker, Najjar Bradley, A.J. Jones and Gilly Jones. And the film focuses on two couples that go out to the woods for a weekend camping trip. One of them is a married couple and the other two are boyfriend and girlfriend. And each couple has got like a strong personality. So in the married couple it's the husband, and in the boyfriend and girlfriend it's the girlfriend. So hence they clash. So the strong husband clashes with the strong girlfriend on this camping trip, and they argue quite a lot. When they first get to the camping trip, they do the usual thing around the campfire, and they tell ghost stories. And Naomi, the girlfriend in the couple, decides to tell a tale from her family's past in Colombia of La Patasola, a spirit that preys on couples that cheat. It will possess the woman, and it will essentially lure the men into the woods and have its wicked way with them, i.e. kill them. So while on this weekend camping trip, some indiscretions take place. And by calling this creature's name, a bit like Candyman, it beckons it into the woods, and it then preys on these couples. What are my thoughts on The Curse of La Patasola? Well, other than the title, I mean, immediately you think of The Curse of La Llorona, and I hope these titles aren't going down the same route as like the Amityville films. By putting The Curse of La something in the title, it might lure an audience member in. The tale that is being told in the film seems quite genuine. I don't know if it's a real spirit or if it's a real story, but it certainly came across in the story as being quite an effective tale, And for the most part, I think this film is quite nicely put together and structured in quite a decent way. It's nicely polished, it's got a decent budget to it, even though it is small budget. Filmed nicely on location. You've got this beautiful camping trip that looks suitably impressive, and the actors that chose for these roles, they all do a good job. You believe that the couples, you believe the conversations that they're having, and they do feel well written and reasonably fleshed out characters, so that you are on board with these, even though you might not like all of the characters. They feel like real people. And that always helps with immersion in films. So I think they've done a pretty good job here. Now, for the most part, this film is just these four characters on this camping trip. There's nobody else in the film other than one part that I can remember that's in it just for a couple of minutes. So you've got laser focus on these couples. And I do think there are some quite creepy scenes here in this film that are pretty nicely put together. There's no real what you would describe as cheap jump scares or anything like that. Everything feels fairly earned here in this film. I think probably for the most part, I think people are probably going to have an issue with the pacing here. Not a lot happens for a big chunk of the film, and then it all happens at the end. It's almost found footage like in its structure in a lot of ways. So I do think pacing will be a problem for a lot of people. I didn't mind it too much. I mean, I'm quite a patient film watcher anyway, but it did get to the point where you're kind of like, okay, we'd like to see something now, to see what's happening, what's going on. And the film kind of broke its own rules constantly. We learn that this spirit, when you call it, say out its name, it will be beckoned into the woods and then prey on couples that have cheated, or partners who have cheated on each other. And then I could understand how it targeted a couple of the people in these couples, this creature, but I didn't really understand why it was targeting the others, because they were innocents. So some of it didn't make sense. It kind of kept breaking its own rules when it was telling the story at the beginning. I mean, maybe the story she was telling was kind of lost in translation over the years and she didn't get all the facts right. But it kind of just seemed to be doing what it wanted when it was convenient for the film, if you like, this spirit or this creature, which was okay, do you know what I mean? And I have to say as well, I thought the effects for the creature design were pretty good. It reminded me, in a way, of the creature design in The Ritual. And I know the follow-up film to that, there's not a sequel to that, I can't remember the name of it. I reviewed it quite recently. They had quite really unique designs for their creatures, and it looks like that a little bit here. Like, a lot of thought has gone into the design of this creature. It looked pretty effective. Practical effects and all that kind of stuff. So I must admit they did pretty good there. We just didn't see enough of it. Like I say, you don't see an awful lot throughout this film, and then it kind of, the last 20 minutes, everything happens, and the last 10 minutes is when you finally get to see this creature. But it's okay. I must admit, I'll be genuinely honest here. When I put this film on, I wasn't expecting it to be anything decent at all. Mainly through the title, I thought this is going to be like, a really poor copy of La Llorona, which in itself wasn't a particularly well-received film. So I just thought it was going to be like a really, really diluted version of that, and it's not. It is its own thing. And it's quite a watchable film, even though it is certainly low budget. And it's one I can certainly recommend if you're a fan of, obviously horror, and this is the sort of thing that, might interest you. I think it's a film that will certainly keep you engaged as an audience member, because the performances are all good. It's well shot, it's well directed. For me, it's nicely paced, but I think others will think it's slow paced. And it does deliver by the end in regards to like the creature design and things like that. Yes, there are some logic issues in regards to the creature, what it does here, there, and everywhere. But I'm going to give this one a 5.5 out of 10 because I thought it was pretty decent. Nothing special. It's not overly memorable or anything like that, but certainly worth checking out if you get the opportunity. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.